Welcome to Everything is Everything, where we keep everything real. I'm Big David, and today I have the lovely Miss Lydia Gibbs with me. Say hello to the people.
Hi guys, Lydia.
All right. Can you tell the people your title at Oregon?
Yes, so I'm the director of on-campus recruiting for the football team. I've been there for like a year and a half, and it's amazing.
I have my UGA gear on because she switched sides on us, man. Born and raised in Atlanta, you know what I'm saying? We went to high school together.
Did
She went to UGA, and now she's at Oregon. How was that transition? Like, what got you from UGA all the way across the country to Oregon?
so like you said, we did go to high school together. Initially, I went to Truett University, and I played lacrosse and basketball there. Then I just kind of wanted something different, and my brother and my cousin played football at Georgia, so I went to Georgia, and I kind of wanted to stay close to them. So I said, just throw me in the recruiting department, but I don't want to talk to anybody. I just want to do paperwork and those sorts of things. And then people saw that I was actually a good connector, and so they threw me out. I remember one of my first recruits was, who was it? Like Emmett Smith's son. And they
Wow.
saw that we were pretty good, making good connections. And after that, the rest was history.
The rest was history.
Yeah.
Wow. So that was you at UGA in the recruiting department. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's take a couple of steps back, right?
Yeah.
Growing up, you're very family oriented.
Oh, my
Like,
God.
you and your sister are like Bonnie and Clyde. Y'all are tight.
It's my twin.
That's your twin.
Uh-huh.
How was it growing up? Were y'all always that close?
I think we were always close. She was my protector, right? I think more recently she started to look at me as not much a little sister, but friend, right?
Gotcha.
She was definitely more, I don't want to say aggressive, but I was always a sweet, shy one. But she, like I said, was protective. My sister has always been so good at basketball, so beautiful. And I was kind of like the baby girl just behind. Like I played because I could, but not really
Right.
because I wanted to. And sometimes people would give me flack for that, but she was always there, ready to square up with anybody who would bother me. But yeah, my sister, she played at USC, then went to Pitt, then moved to Miami to pursue sports broadcasting, which she did an amazing job. But yeah, that's my twin. Like now, more recently, we're starting to become like besties.
That's crazy you say
Yeah.
that you played because you could, not because
Yeah.
you wanted to. You never really wanted to play basketball?
I think, like I have like maybe 7 of my first cousins went D1 and like track, basketball, football.
Shit.
And so I have a very athletic family. So I just happened to be athletic, but I was, like I said, the all one out. Like I could sing, play the piano, play the guitar, cook. I was definitely like the old
Girl,
soul.
you cannot cook.
Who? Please.
Never mind.
Please, yes I can. I'm a good soul food cooker. So like candy yams, mac and cheese, cabbage, cornbread, chicken. I can make neck bones, one of my favorite meals.
What?
Yes, so
You be cooking out there in Oregon?
I do. I do. So for some of my players who are like from the South, or my friends who are from the South who kind of need that taste of home, I'll cook for them maybe once a month if I'm not too busy.
Right,
Like a big soul food dinner.
right. Okay, so now you said you went to Truett University?
Yes.
And played
Lacrosse and basketball.
lacrosse. That was so weird to me. Like, us getting a lacrosse team at Southwest DeKalb was so weird to me.
But we had like random teams. We had rugby, we had
did.
acrobatics, we had swimming, just things that people wouldn't necessarily think would be in the prototypical black school.
Right.
Yeah.
And you got into lacrosse because of Coach Walton, I assume?
Yes,
The
I just saw
GOAT,
Coach
the
Vaughn,
GOAT,
too.
by the way. Coach Walton is the GOAT. But yeah, so how was that transition to lacrosse?
Honestly, for me, I really wish I would have picked up the stick at a younger age because, I was Dennis Rodman. Like, I didn't
Oh
really
my
care to
God.
shoot. Or if I could shoot a layup, I could shoot in the box, but like, I'll foul you and get the rebound.
I know.
Be the cleanup. David used to play with us at practice, so yeah, he knows. But so when she introduced lacrosse to me, it was all the things that I wish I could do in basketball times 10. So I really enjoyed it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dang, that's what's up.
Yeah.
So lacrosse in college, how was that?
Ooh, I was the only black girl on my team.
Wow.
So coming from Southwest DeKalb is like, excuse
Culture
me.
shock.
Culture shock, but like I'm so happy my parents kind of forced me to be around everybody. So it was a culture shock, but I think it was more of a culture shock for them than for me.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, obviously Southwest was all black, but I was used to being around everybody. So for them, I think it was more of a culture shock, but they really embraced me and they loved me, outside of a couple people. Yeah.
You think Coach Walton's coaching style prepared you for that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Coach Walton and my mom, right? Tough love, excellence.
Your mom has tough love. She seems so sweet.
My mom is so sweet, but like, she wants the best for you, so she's gonna get it out of you.
That's real.
Like, let's go past my cousins. My mom played at Miles College in Alabama, so shout out to HBCUs.
My little cousin plays softball at Miles College right now. That's what's
awesome.
up. Yeah.
But she was inducted into the Women's Hall of Fame for basketball. My mom was an amazing athlete, and I have 2 uncles in the NFL. That played in the NFL.
Right.
So like I said, sports runs deep. So like, I think that everybody kind of wants the best for you, and free school.
Did your dad play sports?
My dad, he did play. He played at North Georgia. He played basketball at North Georgia.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, your dad doesn't really say too much. Like,
Nah.
anytime I'm around, he's a man of very few words.
Yeah. But that's what makes the words more impactful, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Dang, that's true. Okay, so now you went to Truett University, you played lacrosse.
Mm-hmm.
How was that transition to UGA?
Oh, I think that my life changed so much for the better. Because Truett was a Christian school, so we really couldn't go to parties. And I really wasn't making those connections that I think could lead me on to where I am now. Like, obviously, I had they really helped me with my faith. Because that's really all we was doing up there. And I met a lot of great friends there. Shout out to Brittany. Shout out to Sarah. And literally all we would do was practice. And then we had this chapel where it had like all the instruments in it. And we'd literally be on the piano and guitar and drum sets for like hours because it's all we could do. For real.
And I'm pretty sure you love that though. You singing and stuff like that.
I did, but I think I definitely wanted more for myself. So when I went to Georgia, I found like we all found each other, the most amazing friend group in like Daisha, Jabria, Brittany, another Lydia. And I know I'm missing a couple more names, Emily, Amber. And I think for me, they made working in football so much easier because it was like we were working with our friends, but we were all so good. Wow. Yeah.
So what was recruiting like as a student at UGA?
Oh, it was how do I explain? For me, it was like the best experience of my life. Like I said, I met some of my best friends. I was just in Daisha's wedding in February. But for me, it was an incredible experience that helped me to meet so many coaches who are now head coaches. Because at the time, like obviously Kirby, it's like God in Georgia, right? Yeah. And it was like kind of nerve-wracking to be around him not because you're scared of him, but because you respect him. Right. You know what I mean? I just remember like walking like the players and their families to his office and standing on the outside of his office and just being like, all right, when this man comes out here, just say hello and walk away. He never did anything to me, like ever. He was always very kind to me. Like we played them last year, Oregon versus Georgia. He came up to me and gave me the biggest hug. He was like, we miss you. Like, come home, which no, I love you, Kirby. But I love Dan too. I love Dan. But I love Coach Lanning so much. But yeah, like it's definitely a respect factor for him. But like all of our position coaches, all of our coordinators, they just made it so much fun to work there. And they always showed appreciation to us because sometimes, especially as we're an intern, you don't really get the respect you deserve, you know?
Yeah, that's real. So before you got into recruiting, did you ever see yourself doing recruiting?
No, I didn't. I thought I was just going to go to school and just be around my brother and cousin. And that just happened to be where they were all the time, the football building. Wow. So, yeah, I didn't know what I was getting myself into going to Georgia. But, yeah.
So what's the biggest difference? And I hate to ask you this. What's the biggest difference between UGA and Oregon for you?
Well, Georgia's home. So I think anything that's not home is always different. But I think for me, and you gotta understand too, I'm working in two different realms. Like I have an actual job now. In Georgia, I was a recruiting intern. So I think for me, in regards to like adult Lydia, I love working in such a healthy work environment and work culture. Like Coach Landon, like preaches family. You know, he preaches like, you know, it's okay to go hard, but you need to take a break. You know, one day we might have a staff meeting. He might say, all right, y'all, let's wrap this up. Let's head to my house. We got pizza and wings. We got pool. We got hoops. We got spades. You know what I mean? So a really, really healthy work environment. And not saying that Georgia is not, but I can't really compare that because I wasn't an adult working at Georgia. I was an intern. Because Georgia for me was just fun. It was just pure fun.
Still a student.
Right. You know what I mean? And like I said, like Coach Smart, we would go to his house too, but it would be more for babysitting his kids, or you know what I mean? Like it wouldn't be like I'm going there to hang out with my head coach, because honestly, that's inappropriate. I can't be a college student hanging out with him.
True.
But yeah, I don't know. I would say Oregon has a really, really, really healthy work environment. And like I said, not to say that Georgia didn't. I think they had a good work environment too. But for me, as a working woman, a 27-year-old woman working in Oregon, this is a great, healthy work environment. And I think for anyone who's far away from home, it's an adjustment. But I think that I have such a great work family and a good church family out there too. And I've found friends who work in other departments, like Dan, shout out to Hannah, who is from Atlanta too.
Wow.
She went to DECA, the Cap School of Arts. I think
Yeah.
it's DECA, right? So small world. Met her on the plane at 5 o'clock in the morning. So people like her make a world of difference for me. Or my friends, Jackie, Uzman, Carl, Pat, and JR. Shout out to them because they taught me so much. And Marshall Malco, who he was at Alabama initially. Then he worked in recruiting at Georgia. He was my boss at Georgia, and he and Coach Landon actually gave me the call to come to Oregon.
Wow.
So people like them and everybody at Oregon, they know who they are. They just make it so incredibly enjoyable for me. Like my nickname at work is Queen.
Queen.
Yeah, and like you know they don't have to do that. Like I'm a woman working in sports, and they always making me feel so empowered. Shout out to Tyler Dean, he gave me that nickname. Everybody feel in line, right? But like when it starts from the top and the top respects you, everybody else has to fall in line or they got to get out.
That's real. Did it take long to adjust to being so far away from your family? Because I know you're very family oriented.
Yeah, it didn't take long, but for me, I definitely miss them. Like my niece is 4, my nephew is 11. You know, as we get older, our parents get older too.
Yeah.
So I think for me, I always like, dang, I don't want to miss the little moments. But like I say, I have a great boss. So anytime, majority of the time that I need to come home for something that's so special to me, they'll let me go.
That's good.
Yeah.
I feel like, and I don't know because I've never lived or worked on the West Coast, but I feel like West Coast is just so much more free than East Coast. You know what I mean?
It's free.
Like I've been to Seattle once. I've been to Seattle, Tacoma, whatever, but I was working with the military. But even then, it's just like, this might sound cliche, but even the air is just fresher out there.
Oh my God. I'm a nature girl too. So for anybody that loves nature, y'all, I've never seen like a river or a lake so blue and so clear, or like waterfalls. Like I feel like when you think about America, we don't think about like all the beauty that it has to offer. But it's so beautiful there, like 0% humidity. And y'all know if you're from the South.
That's lovely. Oh my God.
No bugs really. Like I've never been bitten by a mosquito or anything up there. We have turkeys now. But I think that is so random, but like packs of turkeys. But I think, Oregon is so insanely beautiful, specifically in the summertime, all the way to like November.
So what's I don't want to say the worst part, but what's like the not so good part about being up there?
Ooh, just proximity for my family.
Yeah.
And then, like Pacific Northwest, it can rain sometimes. But it's not like Seattle. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, we'll have sun come out too. But I will say because it rains so much, it's so beautiful. So, like, for me, I think the first year, it kind of was like, dang. But now it's like, it's fine. Yeah.
So I got to ask.
Yeah.
Because of Nike.
Yeah.
Was it like did it catch you off guard when you got there? Like the amount of, because they got all the jerseys.
Yeah.
They got all the gear. Did it catch you off guard, or do you think it was just like underwhelming compared to what like?
No, it was definitely like, wow, because we have enough uniforms in our jersey combinations to last you through the year 33-44. So that's like our kids.
Excuse me?
33, 44. So that's like our kids, and I could be wrong with the date because, you know, we make jerseys every year. So now it's probably more after, you know, this upcoming season. But like,
Jesus Christ.
we get to be around legends like Tinker Hatfield, who's created like Air Jordans, all the Jordans, like the 1s and 2s. You know, we have Phil Knight, Uncle Phil. That's what we call him. He knows everybody in the building. Like, I remember one day.
And you're like working with these people.
So I don't work directly with Uncle Phil, but when he comes in the building, he gets like notes. He knows who you are. Wow. You know what I mean? So he'll come in the building. How you doing? Yeah, you're Lydia. I'm like, you Uncle Phil. You know what I mean? So, and I think that goes to show like the family oriented, how family oriented Oregon is, because like he doesn't have to know your name or your position or what you do.
But he chooses to do that.
Right. So I think for me, it was what was very overwhelming for me, because obviously I feel like all schools have drip and gear. Obviously Oregon is elevated because of Uncle Phil, but for me it's the family connection and ties, because I can have these J's on, you can have those J's on, we can have this shirt on, but like, what does that really mean if it's not healthy or family? You know what I mean? Like, who cares?
I got you.
Yeah.
So can you tell me like what the day-to-day life is for an on-campus recruiter?
It's so different. For one school, it could be one thing, but for me, it's like literally about making connections. Like, I might be on the phone all day one day, then we might have official visits for a month. So I might be planning everything, from balloons, from food, from stay, from travel. Shout out to JR, Travel, and Pat. Shout out to them. From finding out what snacks they like, just the small tedious things that nobody else would do. Or like, I'm a big connector with the moms and the parents, so like even finding out like what they want, and maybe like relaying a note to coach, so it's like, okay, they have that in common, let's talk about that. You know what I mean? Making good, genuine, healthy connections.
So you're the one calling the parents before, like setting up those visits and things like that.
Yeah, and honestly, the one thing that I really love about Oregon is nobody really has like my title really doesn't mean anything, right? And I say that to not devalue what I do, but say that because everybody works together. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like I'm recruiting, so I only do recruiting. Our personnel guys, our scouting guys, our coaches, we all literally work together to try to bring that one person that we want into our family and make them a part of our family. So it's not like, oh, she works in recruiting, so she's at the bottom of the totem pole. Like, no, everybody works together. And like, one thing that I love about Coach Lanning and all of our position coaches, our analysts and our GAs, is that like everybody is open to hear what you have to say because it could help. You know what I mean? Like, no question or no, no question or just nothing is dumb to them. They want to hear it. Right. You know what I mean? And they want you to feel like you don't have to be nervous to say it to them.
Have you ever been in a room, or can you tell me a time where you've been in a room where you were nervous going in?
Oh, yes. Our first staff meeting.
At Oregon?
Yes. So like, sometimes like a lot of women are not in the staff meetings, but our shout out to Cody. She's our director of football operations, an Asian American woman. The only one that I know about. I could be very wrong, but that's a big title. That's a big role. And she like keeps that place running, right? Let me get back to the question though. But I said that to say like a lot of women are not really in the staff meetings, at least from what I know. And you know, he calls me, hey Lydia, like we're so excited to have you here. Stand up and introduce yourself. And I'm like, oh Jesus, because it's literally all men outside of Cassidy and Cody and I. Cassidy is our director of external affairs. Shout out to her. She's had a baby. But I was just very nervous because I didn't know what to expect. Mm-hmm. And then like during staff meetings, we have this thing called Get Real, which is for our players. And so it's essentially talking about things that have nothing to do with football, just about life. Because when you look at the demographics of different sports, specifically football, it's brown, it's black, you know, it's white, it's everyone. So we want everyone to know that they're heard and they're seen. So we're talking about things like, why does your life matter? Or like, do you love yourself? You know what I mean? Like, can you live off your land? Not worrying about what anybody else has, but you know, like, can you live off your land? What's the difference between fear and doubt? And so Coach Lanning, he asked a question. He looked at me. He was like, you thought you were safe? And I had to answer. And I'm not there like, I was like, well, fear, you're scared. Doubt, you really don't know. But he said, no, if you're fearful, that's okay because you're prepared, but you still look kind of nervous. Doubt, you're not prepared. I'm like, yeah.
Gotcha.
Got me. But yeah, things like that. But even still, that I had the answer slightly correct, but though I didn't have it incorrect, he taught me. He didn't like say you're not listening. He taught me.
That's what's up. And it's cool to hear that though, because like a lot of times people have this perception of people with these big titles being stuck up or like mean and stuff like that. So it's cool to hear, especially knowing you as a person. Like, not saying you're sensitive, because you're definitely aggressive as hell.
Me?
Let's not do that.
David! I'm so nice.
You're nice, but you do have an aggressive side, especially when it comes to your family.
Oh, yes. Okay, that's fair.
However, it's cool to hear that they really welcomed you with open arms being that far away from your family, man. I really love that for you. Can you tell a story, even if you can't say names, of a player that you helped recruit that you really wanted to get to either Oregon or UGA and it kind of sealed the deal?
Oh, yeah. I kind of sealed the deal, or they went somewhere else?
But either or. Like, either they did come to your school or you missed the opportunity. You felt like you could have done something better to get them to come to that school.
Honestly, I tell all the players that I even have interactions with, because like I said, it's team. So it's not just me solidifying the deal. It's coaches.
Right.
It's, our GAs. It's analysts. It's even my recruiting interns sealing the deal, right? But I think for me, I tell them to go take all of your visits, because you're going to be here for the next 3 to 4 years. And yes, it's a transfer portal now, so you can transfer and play right away. But really choose a place that is for you. We had this one particular player. I hate it so bad. Let me take my words back. I don't hate it. We all really wanted him to come. And I think that for him, proximity was a thing.
Right.
But I'm so happy that we have transfer portal, because you never know what can happen. So like I said, I don't ever get down about somebody not coming, because at the end of the day, you have to do what's best for you. Right. But I also think that things come back full circle. That's why you have to continue to stay in contact with people, be a good person. And like, anytime somebody commits somewhere else that's not with me, I text them and like, congratulations, or I text their parents like, congratulations. Like, if that was the best thing for you, congratulations. Like, it's no ill will. Like, obviously we wanted you to be here with us, but like, I'm proud of you, because like, it's hard to be recruited by Power 5 schools or any school. It's a school for everybody. So say if it's not even a Power 5 school, it's hard to be recruited by any school. So when you work hard to get to a place to where you can be, I'm proud of you regardless of where you go.
Dang, that's crazy. I've always felt like, and again, I didn't care to play any kind of sports ever outside of high school. I could care less. I was smoking weed and doing whatever. But it's interesting to hear the recruiting side from somebody who's actually in recruiting, as opposed to, because I've heard stories from like my older brother. He played football at Florida State. He would tell me his recruiting stories and stuff like that. And a lot of that stuff I feel like might be fabricated. Whatever, but it's cool to hear from that side. And I always thought it would be ill will, because like, if I love UGA. If I was recruiting at UGA and somebody was like, no, I'm going to Alabama, fuck you. You know what I'm saying?
But for me, it's like, why though? Because these are the kids. Like, I think people forget, because they're so big, like 5-star, 4-star. Who cares about the stars, right? I'm proud of you for earning those, but at the end of the day, those are kids, and it's somebody's kid. So like you said, I'm protective over my family. Imagine how their parents are about them. You know what I mean? Or imagine if they came from a one-parent household or a no-parent household, and they're just trying to figure this out on their own. You know what I mean?
You've had situations like that? A kid coming from like a no-parent household getting recruited?
Yeah, and like their coaches might be like the sole proprietor or main person in their life, which is not odd. But I think that you have to take into account like their life and not yours, and just what they want and what they think is best for them.
Yeah, my perspective is clearly as a fan, not a recruiter. It is what it is. Dang. So what do you think, or where do you want to go from here?
Ooh, that's a question that I always get, and I'm always so shaky about it, because just a year ago, I was in grad school for speech therapy.
Wow.
At Hampton, yeah. So literally I was studying for a neuro exam, and you know how you're studying for something, you just don't feel like doing it. So I got on social media, and I never get on Facebook. And for some reason I logged into Facebook, and literally maybe 30 seconds after I logged on, Coach Lanning DM'd me. It was like, "Hey Lydia, I hope you're doing well. I want you to come visit us out in Oregon." I'm like, cap.
Cap.
Cap. The next day, his chief of staff called me, which is Marshall, who was my boss at Georgia. I was like, okay, this might be real. And then in January, they flew me out for a visit. And my job interview was to see how I could connect with parents. I knew nobody up there but Marshall and Coach Lanning.
Wow.
So they threw me in the mix with all these recruits and their parents. And, sometimes moms, if they don't know you, I look kind of young.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They can be like, what's this? Around my son. Around my son. But, like, everybody embraced me. And I just felt, like, so confident and empowered that they felt like I could do that. You know what I mean? And on my plane ride over, I was a little shaky. I was like, Lord, if this is meant to be, like, let it be and let it flow so naturally. And it really did. And yeah.
Dang.
Yep. So that's
Maybe I should get on Facebook one of these days. Log in on Facebook, wait like a minute and a half and see what's going on.
Serious, like, and I really knew it was from God when it came that way. Cause I'm like, I never get on Facebook. 30 seconds after, he had just gotten the job, and I'm like, y'all thought about me,
right?
Out of all the people, you thought about me.
I mean, that says volumes to your character and the work that you did as an intern at UGA.
But I swear I was just having fun with my friends. And honestly, I had a bit of imposter syndrome because I'm literally was like, why me? Like, excuse me? What? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or like, why do y'all remember me in that way?
Do you have student interns at Oregon that you pour into?
I do. And initially, it was kind of challenging for me to lead a body of people, specifically because everybody thought I was so young. And I'm not old. But, like, they thought I was around their age. So, initially, it was very, very challenging for me to get the best out of them. But I think that the ones that stayed, it was some that left, too, which is cool. But the ones that stayed, they're definitely reaping the benefits of staying. And not just that it's coming from me, but when you're in a building, you're around the coaches, you're around people that can help you get to different places. Because our coaching staff is so young. Coach Lanning's like 37. Our offensive coordinator is like in his early 30s. Our D coordinator is young. Like Coach Locke, shout out to him. He has an amazing story. If you ever look it up, Coach Hamp. Everybody is Coach Leak is like 28. He's an O-line coach.
Wow.
So like, and shout out to Coach Tosh. I love you. All of y'all. I love y'all. But all of our coaching staff is very young, so you just never know where they're gonna go. You know what I mean? You never know where they're gonna go. So I say be around those good people, make good, genuine connections with those people because they'll bring you with them if they feel like you're loyal. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, I love my coaches so much. I love coaches so much. Shout out to them.
Give everybody a shout out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But yeah, they'll take you with them if you're good and you're loyal and you work hard.
So you said when you were at UGA, you were basically just having fun with it. You know what I mean?
I was having fun, yes.
And you're here now. So some of your interns, do you kind of try to, I guess, tell them what could be of that opportunity or whatever? Because I know that they're in college. Like when you're in college, undergrad, people can say whatever they want to say or whatever, and they can go in one ear and out the other. But how do you kind of like hone in and refine those skills?
So I know they get tired of me, but I literally would sit down. You know how your grandma will tell you the same story over and over again? But I literally do that. And like now that they've been with me for like a year, they're like, you're right, Lydia. You're like so right. And not that I'm right about everything, but I'm like, I've been y'all before. Like I've been y'all. And I tell them to relax too, like have fun. Like you're still in college, like relax. Obviously I want you to come in and work hard, but like relax and have fun too. Like these are going to be some of your friends for a lifetime. And they didn't believe me at first, but now they're all like besties. But I'm like, just relax, have fun. Like don't think about it too hard.
Right.
I think a lot of them are like, you know, like I need this for my resume. Like I need, what I had to do. Like, what did you do to get here? And I'm like, my story is very different from a lot of people. A lot of people put in years and years and years of work to get in a position like myself and or anybody that's working in the sports field, any position. And there's a lot of young girls that work in my position, but they put in like years of work, maybe 4 years of undergrad and maybe 2 years post-grad. But for me, I was just blessed to have opportunities to come and work and do a good job for them. So I tell them all the time, you don't know your story, so while you're here, have fun, relax, and do hard work because, you know, when you work hard, you'll reap the benefits. Yeah.
That's real.
Yeah.
Dang, that's real. So if you could,
Mm-hmm.
right? If you were, and I hate to ask this,
Yeah.
but if you could have the opportunity to go to any school,
Ooh.
uh-huh, and just speak to their recruiting class, where would you go and why?
Anywhere Coach Lanning is.
I feel like that's cheating.
No, I swear. Like, David, you know I wouldn't lie to you. I really would go anywhere he is because I don't think people understand the importance of working in a healthy work environment where you feel valued, or like really working with somebody who really means what they're telling your mom. Like, I'm gonna take care of your son, and really means it, and they actually do it.
Right.
I don't think people understand the importance of that because sometimes you can go somewhere and that not be the case. They can like feed you a lot of stuff, and it's not the case. And for me personally, I want to be somewhere with someone who the mom is not calling me like this is not real. When you work with him, it's real. It's genuine. Like, he's gonna have you at his house. He's gonna take care of you. He's gonna care about your mental well-being. We have a psychologist that is with us all the time by the name of David Minkula. So he cares about you, and he cares about your life after football. He cares about you in regards to becoming a man too. So for me, anybody that is going to actually pour into the guys, which is from what I can see is him.
Right.
You know.
That's
so
interesting.
like I said, it's not cap at all. Like, literally, like, you know, I'm a family person. So if I really didn't believe what I was saying, I wouldn't be there.
That's
I'm not
real.
trying to cheat, I swear.
No, that's real. I understand. That's fair. That's your answer. You know what I mean? Where do you see yourself outside of recruiting?
Ooh.
So, like, what is Lydia's life outside of recruiting?
I want to be a mother and a wife and just like the best Lydia ever.
Wow.
I do. I know. I know that's dramatic, but it's true. Like, I think I love recruiting. I love all of the things. But honestly, I want to be a great wife first. Great Lydia first. Great woman of God. Great wife and a great mother. Not anytime soon, but that's where I see myself. I see myself in football for a very long time. But after that, those are the things that I kind of want to do.
Do you think your lifestyle with recruiting and being in that college environment is conducive to dating to find that?
Ooh, not right now. Not right now, but I don't think it's impossible.
Why not right now? Like, what makes it not conducive?
We just work so many hours, and so I will have to literally be with someone who can understand that, and also be with someone that'll understand that I have a lot of guy friends because I like work with like all men.
That's interesting.
It's
You say a lot. What are your hours? Like, how does that work?
I work Monday through Sunday.
Excuse me?
Yeah. But it's
Sheesh.
we trying to win, like, you know what I mean? Natties, and it's not like Monday through Sunday, like hard labor, but there's some days where you're working on, we work hard every day, but it's some days where you can come in the office, I'm on the phone with the parents, I'm typing up notes, doing certain things. Might be a day where I'm with recruits and their parents all day long, so, or giving a tour, or you know what I mean, just getting ready for the next week. And I get to go to church on Sunday too. I go to church on Sunday and come in for a couple hours. So it's not like I'm working 8 hours on a Sunday. You know what I mean? And it really depends on what season I'm in. Like July, I get the whole month off. June, you're grinding because it's recruiting season.
Right.
February, we get the weekends off. You work during the week, like 8 hours a day. You know what I mean? So it just really depends on what month or what season we're in. Football season, I get the weekends off when they go play away. You know? But during the week, I'm grinding still.
Can you travel with the team if you want to?
Yes.
So it's optional?
Yes.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah.
How is that, though? I've never experienced, like, D1 travel.
I think so. When we came to Georgia game, we just had to, like, charter flights. So, because of so many people.
Right.
So, it's fun. It's like, you know, it's nice. It's nice to be on your own plane.
Whole team just got a plane. That's cool. That's dope.
It's nice to be in your own plane, but like for me, I'm a lady, so I want to like on a weekend they're gone. I love y'all. I'm gonna be watching y'all from the hair salon and the nail salon and getting my eyebrows threaded. You know what I mean? Just doing the things. Cause I work with all men, so sometimes I find myself kind of being hard, and I don't want to lose my feminine side.
That aggressive
And,
stuff we talked about.
I'm not aggressive though. I think that sometimes you have to come in and set your boundaries, parameters, all those good things. But like I said, I work with great men who don't make me feel like I have to be aggressive, but just like being around that all the time.
All that testosterone,
Yeah. So I definitely like to get away and feel like soft like a lady.
I feel that.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite part about football season?
Ooh,
like in season at Oregon. We're not going to talk about Georgia.
So being biased, like being from the South, I'm like, oh, SEC is end all be all. Like nobody is rocking like Georgia or Alabama or LSU in their stadium. Please. The first game that I went to at Austin Stadium, which is our stadium, bruh, I mean, it was filled to the max, fans going stupid. Like the same love that you have for Georgia is the same love that like Oregonians or people on the West Coast or people like, just think about like LaMichael James or DeAnthony Thomas. Like those people kind of brought that. Marcus Mariota, you know what I mean? Like huge. Tony Washington, just like great players have brought to that stadium. Yes, that culture is crazy. Like you wouldn't believe me unless you came. You got to come to a game this year. You would not believe me unless you came.
It's like that.
It is like that. And we're bringing, one thing, I know I keep saying Coach Landon, shout out to him, I love him, but he's bringing like more of like that Southern-esque culture to Oregon, and they already have an amazing culture. So we're just trying to keep building upon that.
Are the tailgates lit? They tailgate up there?
You know, they do tailgate, but I'm not really sure about how lit they are because I'm working.
Oh, true. Dang.
Yeah. Even at Georgia, I didn't really get to go to tailgates because I was working as an intern.
I never thought about it like that.
Yeah.
All right, so I got a question. And I asked everybody this question.
Yeah.
If you had 3 wishes,
yeah,
what would they be?
Ooh. This is something I've never been asked. 3 wishes. To continue to be a light to people. Sometimes your light can be dimmed based upon life situations. To be financially independent and retire like 40. And to see my family happy, like just happy, everybody happy, whatever that means to them. Simple.
That is simple. A lot of people will say like unlimited wishes and all of this type. No. So I'm like, that's cheating. You know what I'm saying?
Unlimited wishes. Come on.
That's cheating. Okay. And if you could tell anybody who, I guess, aspires to be in Division I or any recruiting, like that's what they aspire to be coming up, whether that's they're in high school, they're in college or whatever, what would you tell them?
Just work hard, and while you're working hard, don't forget to be present and be where your feet are. Like, just don't think about the future so much that you can't enjoy the now, because you don't know what the future is. You know the past. You kind of know the present because you're living in it, right? But you don't know the future. So live in your moment. Live off your own land. Don't worry about what I have, what you have, what anybody else has. Just live, be present, and know that if you work hard, or if that is for you, if that's what God has for you, that is what is going to happen. And if not, it's okay. We all have different paths, and that's okay. You just have to really live and be present, because if you're not present, you will really get lost and really not enjoy yourself or your life, or even be an enjoyable person to be around, because you'll be thinking about, gotta get this, I gotta get this, and it might never come,
Wow. Well, that's real. Thank you so much
for
coming to my show. I'm so glad I caught you while you was in town. You always be on the West Coast and whatnot.
Shout out to the West Coast.
Oh, don't do that. Cannot shout out the West Coast. Refuse to shout out the West
Northwest.
Coast. But no, seriously. Thank you, Lydia.
Yeah.
Thank you. More blessings, more opportunities, more love, and all that good jazz. All right?